on Sky Thoroughbred Central. Fair Joy out, probably lacks pace now. Scooter's Machine's going to probably amble to the front, you would think. I'm going to go right outside the box in this. It does have class on his side and was the pick of the yard. We'll tell you soon.
All right, these horses have left the yard, so we'll have a quick whip through them. Number 1, Fair Joy, is the scratching, was the early favourite. Number 2, Chaya, who I think that you've got a fair bit of time for, is trained by Helen Harding. Shelby Botel takes the ride, and natural back-marking mare.
Yeah, that's the one. She's been around and can be hard to catch, Scott, but it was a much improved run the other day. Finished the race off strongly to be just behind the place getters. Notably, she did get a virus back in June, so the camp definitely on top of that now. 1400 is a pet distance. She'll get back, as you said, but she'll be running on. And we saw the last winner make ground from the back, but the speed was on. So, yes, I've got some time for her this afternoon.
It certainly was the first horse we'd seen all day make sort of real ground on those leaders. Number 3 is a Magic Albert gelding called Hilbert. He is trained by Peter Fernie. Mitchell Pateman takes the ride.
He hasn't fired this preparation for mine. He's been racing below his best. He has been drawing well and starting short in the market. Again, he'll have every opportunity from the gate, number 3, Hilbert. He did look particularly well in the yard. I think I may have noted that to yourself, co-owner.
Yes, thank you, Grishane. He did look well, but he's been racing well and truly below his best. This is an interesting horse, a 5-year-old gelding by Machino called Scooter's Machine. Had races up in Port Hedland and Roban, came down to Kalgoorlie, led them up, only beaten 3 lengths Regal Council, who's flying, and then held off. A subsequent winner in Watto's Fury, who won earlier on today. The horse that ran third was another eye catcher and Double the Pro. The form is there. Backs up off 7 days. Christy Bennett, 56 kilos after the claim. Looks awfully hard to beat.
And especially with Fair Joy out, as we just mentioned a moment ago. Look, just got in here last Sunday after bringing up the field to that tearaway leader, Miss Slater from memory. Steps up to the 1400, drops 3.5 kilos on that win, off 7 days. Will probably get a similar run to last week. I'd say leading now, though, and can go close again.
Another natural back marker is number 5, Bevel, a Bevelick gelding, a 7-year-old, trained by Neil Della. Kate Whitten takes the ride last start, eye-catching behind Regal Council.
It was, but he's had a few of them this preparation. I think he's a bit of a late mature in a campaign, this horse. His run 2 starts ago was good, and that would have him in the finish in this for sure. He's a run-on horse, so he'll need luck.
Number 6, McCavity, trained by Ash Grace. Jordan Turner picks up the ride. The winkers come off. The blinkers go on. A 1760 back to a 14. I think they're still trying to work out this 7-year-old.
Yeah, you're correct. 3 runs here have been fair. He's had some niggling feet issues, had the pads on and off. I think they've remained on now. If he's right, with the switch to the blinkers being applied, just to switch him on, try something different, he can improve.
Now, this is one that has no race form, but one I think might improve off 7 days. It's number 7, Urkel, a 5-year-old gelding by Ukbar. Last start beaten 6 lengths by Regal Council.
Oh, I'd have to disagree. Urkel not going good enough for mine. Just battled here last Sunday. He'll find it tough to trouble these.
Number 8, Capo Dell'Aria, is probably the most interesting runner in the entire field. Was retired when beaten 20 lengths Prince Devoutly at Pinjarra Park. Now resumes 77 days later. She's been unretired, this 5-year-old mare by Street Boss. Brock Luthwaite brought 2 gallopers to the track today. He's had 1 winner already. Jay McNaught takes the ride off the back of a pretty good 1,450-metre trial behind Sense of Denial.
Yeah, you can make a case. Lightly raced 5-year-old mare, bit of a question mark, can be a bit fizzy, but she went over to the barriers quite calm and relaxed. Failed first up in early June, went to the trials and trialled well over 1450, ran second to Sense of Power, hit the line well. She could be a work in progress also, this mare.
Tongue Tie does go on for the first time. Number 9, Jono's Rocket, a 5-year-old mare by Danehill Express. Peter Fernie's had this galloper for 3 starts. 13th of 13, beaten 12 lengths Regal Council, and then 9th of 10 last week, beaten 7 lengths by Scooter's Machine. Yeah,
he sweated up badly in the yard too, and it's cold here in Kalgoorlie today. Hard to get enthused. His 2 runs back in, not expected to threaten.
Cold, it's freezing, Crochet. Number 10, Kilorglen, trained by Neville Newton. Renee Forrest takes the ride, another one that's drawn an outside alley. Yeah,
freshened this veteran galloper, race wide throughout last start, faces a tough task here.
Your top 4 numbers ahead of race number 7, the Banjawarn Station Handicap, over 1,400 metres.
Yeah, we're going wide with 2, Chaya, big robust type of mare. She's been around and sometimes hard to catch, but that was an eye-catching run the other day. They're moving in. 4 Scooters Machine will lead this field up. On pace bias is going to be hard to beat. 5 Bevel, look for him running home. And 3 Hilbert, best of the rest, look good in the yard. 2, 4, 5 and 3.
2, 4, 5 and 3 for Banjawarn. I thought there were 2 at odds in Urkel and Capildararia that could run races, but it's a wide open finish to the last. It's 2, 4, 5, 3 from Banjawarn. Here's Dave Sheehan for the calling of the last.
Now, along comes Scooters Machine. Christy Bennett in the saddle, drawn in gate number 2, Scooters Machine. Won here last week. Now Chaya to come along. Watto's Fury Frank that form, running second in that same race. Now Bevel to come up. Urquell. Capo Dell'Aria to come forward. Jono's Rocket. Now Bevel about to walk on up. Kate Whitten as the mount on Bevel this afternoon. Lucky last of the day. Kilorglen, one of the outsiders in the race, comes up for Renault Forest, drawn in gate number 9. Kilorglen over there at the 1400. Urquell, Jono's Rocket. Out to link in for Randy Tan. Now Jono's Rocket now comes up, waiting on Urquell. McCavity to come forward. Capo Dell'Aria, and they'll be set to go. Lucky last on the card. The rail's been at 9 here today. It was last week as well. Now Urquell about to come in for Peter Nucky. Peter has won a race here today and a second. So he's right there in the Jockey's Challenge for the afternoon. Now McCavity to link on in. McCavity comes up for Jordan Turner. Gate number 3 for McCavity comes on in. Field of 9 here in the final event. So the last one to link in is Capo Dell'Aria, newcomer to the region. Red lights are on. Stand by. Almost set to go. 1400 metres the journey. Lights flashing away. Offhand racing in the final event on the program. Kilorglen came out fast. Scooters Machine also began fast, and it's going to lead. Urquell is going around the outside to be third, and Hilbert is fourth on the inside of Capo Dell'Aria. Then out there a little bit wider is Chaya from McCavity. A further length to Bevel, settling back there second last for the 1.5 to Jono's Rocket, who's at the tail. Scooters Machine, nice comfortable lead at the 1,000, out by a length. Kilorglen running second. Then a break of 2.5 back to Urquell, who's over on the outside of Hilbert. Capo Dell'Aria hits the midfield here from McCavity, going through on the inside. From Chaya, second last Bevel, and 3/4 the outside Jono's Rocket. 650 metres left to travel down the Charles Street, and a Scooters Machine out in the lead by that length and a half. Kilorglen, then came Hilbert. Urquell fourth. A break of 2 lengths to McCavity. Back on the inside from Chaya, starting to improve. Capo Dell'Aria's in the centre. Further 1.5 to Bevel, and Jono's Rocket is last of all, coming around the corner. Inside the final 400, and Scooters Machine out in the lead by a length. Kilorglen. Urquell has gone up there 3 wide. Hilbert's had a lovely run. Now gets its chance into the open. From McCavity, Chaya down the outside. 200 to go. Scooters Machine out by 2. Hilbert, Urquell, Chaya the outside. McCavity through on the inside. Scooters Machine in front. McCavity, Hilbert are trying hard, and McCavity's coming hard here at Scooters Machine, and it gets it. McCavity on the inside has beaten Scooters Machine last stride. Photo there for third between Chaya and Hilbert. Behind them Bevel, Urquell. Then came well back in the field was Kilorglen with Jono's Rocket, and Capo Dell'Aria is at the rear. McCavity through on the inside for Jordan Turner. Double for Jordan. Flying through on the fence. Scooters Machine in front all the way. But McCavity finishing off best on the inside, and it gets it. Number 6 is up in the frame. McCavity, trained by Ashley Grace here locally, ridden by Jordan Turner, has won. Second is number 4, Scooters Machine, led all the way there, but narrowly cut down right near the wire. And a third goes to Chaya for Shelby Botel, and fourth in is number 3, Hilbert, for Mitchell Pateman. 6, 4, 2 and 3. 6, 4, 2 and 3 up in the frame here after the final event on the program. So McCavity at good odds getting home. He's a 7-year-old bay gelding. He's by Street Cry, owned by AWSM and B.A. Grace, trained by Ashley Grace here in Kalgoorlie. So congratulations to all the Grace family there. And a double for Jordan Turner. It's won by a half head on the line. A half head, the winning margin by 1.5. Half head by 1.5. The margins there. Scooters Machine, another good run, trained by David Smith, Christy Bennett. And third goes to Chair on the outside, trained by Helen Harding, ridden by Shelby Botel. And fourth in is number 3, Hilbert. 6, 4, 2 and 3.
Pads, has other issues with hocks and things as well. So, yeah, he's been around the mill a bit. So, yeah.
And what was the thinking today? Blinkers back on, 1760 back to a 1400. It's a masterstroke after the race. But what were you thinking before the race?
Well, I was very disappointed in his last 2 runs, to tell you the truth. And we were thinking about retiring him. And we just didn't put a saddle on him this week and took him back in distance. And, yeah, I think he was having a bit of a bludge sometimes. Yeah.
He is an old boy. Maybe he's taking the proverbial out of you sometimes. Do you step him up in distance again and keep him in work while he's broken through again?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be looking at 1760s and miles sort of again now after this little freshen up week.
And any other horses in the stable we can keep an eye on? Maybe some evolutionists or something like that?
Yeah, evolutionist. Yep, he'll race next week. Yeah.
Good luck and congratulations, Ash.
Thank you.
We'll grab Geordie Turner on the way through. He's just got some pretty happy connections in front of him. He got the runs at the top of the home straight, really shot through and accelerated nicely. And we'll grab Geordie on his way to the scales. Geordie, confidence levels at the top of the home straight?
Yeah, I was pretty confident. He travelled into it quite nice. I dropped my whip at the 150, which probably didn't help, but he still kept coming, and credit to the stable.
And what about him in terms of distance? He was a 1760 last start, back to a 14. Would you suggest to Ash that he keeps him at a 14 or maybe steps him up again?
I guess while he's fresh, there's no reason to step him up just yet. But hopefully, I'll just let them do their job and I'll do mine.
Congratulations, Geordie. I reckon you can treat yourself to a Hahn 3.5.
All right, thanks, mate.
There's Geordie Turner, the rider of McCavity. Number 6 wins the last at Kalgoorlie, and race number 7 at Kalgoorlie at 6, 4, 2 and 3. Crashane Warren, that's you and I done for another 7 days. I'll see you next Sunday. Then we have a week off and we get fired up for the traditional annual Kalgoorlie race round. Are you excited?
Oh, very much so. And folks, if you haven't experienced a race round, best to plan for it. It's coming up, the $120,000 listed Tab Touch Hannon's Handicap over 1400 on Thursday, the 3rd of October. Note these dates down. They go out quickly. 130,000 listed Kalgoorlie Cup, sponsored by Iron Jack, over 2,200 metres. The 2 days later on Saturday, the 5th of October. That traditional annual race round.
Can't wait for it.
Can't say it enough.
No, you can't say it enough, and you can't say that annual word enough. They are a Sky Thoroughbred Central audience, however. We'll be off to a break, but when they come back, they'll be off to Singapore again, so make sure you stay with us.